Hey, this is Mark Henry, author of Dancing with Energy, Healing, Magic, and Mysticism, here to talk to you more about the occult and the paranormal. So today I'm going to be talking about healing beings, Buer versus Raphael. So we're going to be talking about healing today. But before I begin, I just want to remind everybody that I just opened up an Etsy store, and I am offering attunements or connections to spirits so that one can actually channel the energy directly without having to go through necessarily a lot of the process and practices of ritual magic and things to create an outcome. So I want to encourage you to at least check it out. There are people who've been getting good responses from, people who are making major changes in their lives and are able to do some things that they couldn't do before. So I'll put a link in the description if you're interested in that. But moving on to the video. So, Raphael versus Buer. So let's talk about Raphael first. So Raphael means God heals, word etymology. In the book of Tobit, Raphael acts as a doctor and as one who can cast out destructive spirits. He's also known in the Old Testament to be the one that healed Abraham from his circumcision, and also the one who warned Lot to leave Sodom. So, if you were thinking about, okay, so what is the history and mythology of Raphael? What is it that he can do? One of the things that is possible would be for him to be able to warn you of danger. Pretty neat friend to have. Okay, so he is the patron angel of certain professions, of healers themselves, doctors, nurses. He is a patron angel of travelers, and also patron angel of the blind. So what is it that, one of the other things that he is noted for, and if you are fans of the tarot, the Rider-Waite deck, it is supposedly Raphael that is standing behind the lovers in the lovers card, behind the two humans. Okay, so what are some of the characteristics? If you decide to work with Raphael in some form or fashion, what could he do? What are his strengths? One of his strengths is calming down your fears and anxieties. So relieving stress is one of the big things. It's one of the things that most people use him for. As a little bit of a side note, I discovered something on my own. I mentioned this in other videos, and you're more than welcome to check this out, is that the whole idea of parasitic beings. These are beings that when people get involved in the occult magic, sometimes divination, they become brighter on the spirit world, and it attracts things, some good things, some bad things. One not so good things is parasitic beings who will try to attach to your aura and even to your chakras and extract vitality, energy, just like a tick or a flea or a mosquito tries to extract your blood to feed on it. These particular beings will do the same to human beings. And they are attracted to our woundedness, to our traumas, to our weaknesses, and that is like the point at which they go in order to extract the vitality. So let's say that you were somebody who, in 12-step recovery was, let's say, a sex or love addict. One of the things that they might want to do is to go to your root chakra and extract energy whenever you feel maybe aroused or something like that. That would be a classic thing that they could do. But it isn't just that. They can feed on our anxieties and our sadness, our depression. A lot of the strong emotions that you think of, that you might feel, that is optimal food for them. Which brings in whole other things that I've talked about in other videos, the shadow people. There's a literature that says that the shadow people actually are trying to be provocative, and that they come and they watch, and they will get close enough to create fear and somehow extract the energy from that fear, from the powerful emotion. But I don't want to get too far off into that, but I guess the point that I'm getting to is that Raphael, I've discovered, can, with his high vibrational energy, his healing energy, can cause these parasitic beings to take off, to not bother you, to they get extracted and they leave. And that's not to say they won't try to come back again, but it's kind of one of the things that you can do, because you're into this stuff, and why make it harder for yourself having to deal with these beings? They're pretty much a nuisance. They rarely cause any serious damage, but they can make your life harder if you're unaware of it, and especially if you have some type of psychological or physical vulnerabilities. They can just make, you're already having a tough time, they can make things just a little harder for you. But they're kind of like the hazards of, being here and stuff, and a lot of people have them. In any case, that is one of the reasons why in the occult and magic and everything, they talk about cleansing, clearing, and all this type of stuff, ritual baths, surround yourself with white light of protection and all these types of things. Okay, so back to Raphael. Calming fears and stress and anxieties. General physical healing he's good for. Like I said, he was in some of the Old Testament literature, the apocryphal books of Tobit, they have him being a healer. Inspiring creative thought, original thought, all of this is something that he's capable of. So if you are an artist or a writer or something along those lines, Raphael would be one to help you create something out of nothing, because that is what creation is. It's what creativity is. Creating something new. So now let's go on to Buer. Buer is the 10th spirit of the Lesser Key of Solomon. Some occult literature classifies him as a demon, but like I've said in other videos, you have to be careful with these labels of angel, demon, because there is a continuum of lightness to darkness. There are angels that are really light, and there are some that are gray, and some demons that are gray, and some demons that are more dark and to other end of destructive. Just like we were talking about Raphael, one of the things that he did was, like I said, he healed Abraham of his circumcision, but he also warned Lot to leave Sodom. I mentioned that, I think. So he's one of warning. However, Buer, as a demon, or as a spirit that is classified as a demon, is a healer, So I would classify him as more of somewhere in the gray. So what is sort of the things that he governs? Well, if you look at what the Lesser Key of Solomon says, it says that he is an expert in moral philosophy, natural philosophy, and logic. So if you had something on your mind, something you're trying to work out, a situation, or maybe even a problem of some kind, that he would be the one to get wise counsel from, to help you think it through, to help you kind of unwind and untangle all of that. So he could give you some advice in order to kind of help everything work through. Now, what does that look like when you would do that? It might be the case that you don't hear anything. Don't always assume that when you're talking to angels or other spirits that you're going to hear a clear voice and it's going to be just like you're talking to somebody in the room. It might be the case that you forget about the whole thing, you walk the next day, and all of a sudden you figure it out. They don't communicate the same way we do. In fact, many spirits and angels and other things, they communicate through a thought language. So they communicate through us, in order to even receive it, it has to be processed even in our brain, if that makes any sense. Because we have to interpret these spiritual signals into something that we can understand. He Buer can also lessen the pain from interactions with our shadow or working with our shadow self. So one of the things I always tell people is that, okay, so if you're working with spirit that's maybe into the gray, into the darker area, there is something about resonance and harmonics. So if you choose to do that, then there is many times some unresolved, unprocessed, maybe some dark things that can come to the surface for you to work through and work on. That is just kind of the side effect of working with these things. You may find that your inner darkness gets a little darker by working with something that's a little dark, if that makes sense. And that is not necessarily something bad unless you don't handle it well, or if you don't want to deal with all that stuff, then don't work with those particular things. Just cut it off. There's a solution to all of these types of things. There is, I think a lot in Christianity, this idea that if you work with anything dark, then automatically, the worst possible case scenario is going to happen to you. And it's a lot of fear-mongering and fear-based things. And, 99% of the time, it's completely false. But in any case, I don't want to get off onto something like that. Just understand that with Buer, if you decide to work on these types of things, one of the ways that he can heal is to help you work with this shadow material and to do it more comfortably than if you would kind of work on it on your own. He also can help you recover from a physical injury faster than you would if you just used other things. You just went the conventional routes. And always hold, I guess, realistic expectations for injuries and illness. We all want to be made whole. We all want to be as we were before, maybe even better. But it's kind of like especially when you're dealing with serious illnesses, kind of taking it day by day, week by week, and see where you get. We don't always know what the future holds for us as far as our illness. So I think that a good goal is to try to steadily make ourselves better than the condition that we have today. And like I said, like Raphael, he brings general healing to illness and disease. Now, how does this work out? Just like when I mentioned about maybe having an inspiration of how to solve a particular problem that was complex through Buer. These angels and demons or spirits in general, they don't do the work for you, and even with their energy, it may be the case that it comes to you, this gets solved through them with their assistance, through petitioning them possibly, but it comes to you in another way. For example, if you worked with Raphael or Buer with your healing or recovering from injury or illness, let's say you're not getting very far, but then you started working with them, and then all of a sudden you find the right doctor, the right specialist who knows exactly what's going on and how to treat you. That would be a success, because now, magic and energy and all these has to work in the physical world. It can't just stay on the spiritual. So here you are grounded in reality, and you come across exactly what you need in order to get better faster. That would be a win. Also, through conversations and through meditations with these entities, you might get some insights into self-healing, about some things that you can do, lifestyle changes. Or it could be that through your illness and through working with these entities, maybe your lifestyle or something will shift enough so that you are in a perfect spot to rest, maybe not work, to recover, so that it doesn't bring you hardship on other parts of your life. So I consider that would be to be a win too. Anything, we have to try to not think of recovery and illness as it has to happen this way. We have to be open to the whole situation and the whole environment, and how things with magic could be supporting us in ways that we don't really completely understand. So that is about all I have to say about Buer and Raphael. If you want to easily connect with either of these spirits, again, I have their attunements in the Etsy store if you want to get to know them and work with their energy. All right, there'll be a link in the description for that and my Patreon and other things. So if you care to look at that, it'll be in the link in the description. Please subscribe, like, and comment. I want to know what you think. Have you ever worked with either of these spirits? And I will see you in a future video. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.